We are back today on Football Manager 26 to talk about scouting and how to sign bargains and free agents. All the way from recruitment focuses to different search criteria or how to utilize the transfer room. In today's video, I'm going to show you every single method I use to make free agent signings, bargain signings, or even Moneyball data analysis signings. So without further ado, let's get into the ultimate how to sign bargains and free agents guide on FM26. And for this video, we're going to be using an actual in-game transfer window that I need to do for a Moneyball rebuild, and that's of Toulouse, a video which will be out in the next couple of weeks, where I am now in season 3, and we've just had a bit of a fall-off season. After a couple of seasons getting European football, we've just finished down in 11th place and are sort of in dire need of a rebuild in the middle of a rebuild. The team has so far been made up completely of Moneyball-esque signings, but at this point in the rebuild, I'm going to go into signing a few more free agents, again finding cheap wonder kids and showing you guys everything I'll be doing to do that. Of course, we have got our Moneyball data analysis all set up with our search criteria, and I'll go through everything in that in just a second. I've also got recruitment focuses set up to help me find some of the best wonder kids on the game, and I'll also be showing you a sneak peek at my contracts expiring filters so we can also find the best free agents available to us here at Toulouse. And honestly, it's not like I need to do it. We have got £94 million in the bank, but trust me, you can find better players doing these methods rather than just going and finding players that the scouts give you. The methods we're going to talk about today will completely change the way you play FM26. Now, of course, the first thing we are going to start off with is our Moneyball-led scouting and transfers. Now, what you can see straight away is the filter that I have got set up to do this. Now, sadly, you can't actually save filters, which makes it very frustrating. So there is nothing instantly downloadable that I can give you guys. But on the Patreon for completely free, there is a video titled The Ultimate Moneyball Guide. And within that, I have a PDF which completely explains every single position that you need to go into scouting wise for each different bit of analytical data. You need to then go and make the signings, which then gives you the shortlist, and you can then do it from there. You can see already I've got my shortlist all set up for attack midfielders, centre backs, DMs, goalkeepers, strikers, wingers, and wing backs. But effectively, what you want to do is go through that PDF that I've created, and then go through and create your own version of this, which basically is every single playable league that I have got loaded. So players have to spawn from decent reputation leagues. By the end of that, it is having an average rating of more than 7 and playing more than 2,000 minutes. And again, I completely know that Moneyball isn't for everyone, so I'm not going to spend too much time in this video going through the different data analysis and stats. There'll be a video linked up there for anyone that is interested in Moneyball. I go full in depth how I scout different players using this. For the sake of this video, I'm going to go through and do that bit without you guys and make the shortlist and show you guys how I sort of whittled it down into the bargain side of things. Otherwise, we could be here for the first half hour of this video only talk about Moneyball. So let's talk about something that you guys can implement into your saves easily before going on to that. And that is my recruitment focuses. And I've showed these off in separate Wonder Kid videos. But what I've sort of done is for the sake of when I do recruitment focuses in Moneyball, and in particular these Moneyball rebuilds, so it's all about trying to keep the costs down. So for example, with EU, you can see we've got a couple of players which are slightly more expensive that get scouted, but also a lot cheaper ones. And that's because I actually changed my EU under 21s one to be in Eastern Europe, Northern Europe, Southeastern Europe, and Central Europe. So it gets rid of effectively Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and English wonder kids, which are all the most expensive ones. Now, of course, you have a couple here that are in either Germany or that are in the Eredivisie, which are more expensive. But if we look here at, say, Justin Dokaru at Ferrol Constantinia, he is an A+ priority right winger coming from Romania. Star player, very well-rounded right-wing stats for £12.5 million. Sami Budahane, who I know is one of the best wonder kid strikers in the game, for £9 million coming in from PSV. I bet there's some more down here as well, like going into Turkey. Uchenna Ogundu, a Nigerian right winger, who again, great determination, 18 pace, 17 acceleration, while being about 6'2". This guy will be absolutely incredible in the match engine. And just having it so your scouts go to these specific regions, I found pretty much only in EU to help me find much better examples of bargains, rather than just, if you look at this, it's going to give them the English wonder kids, which are all £70 million that I just simply cannot afford. Welling it down to these few little areas in the EU give us such better bargains. Enes Kanga, 950,000. A really good wonder kid goalkeeper who I'd already used on FM26, and he is fantastic. Looking into Salzburg here at Christian Zawicki, 950k potentially for a 21-year-old Austrian goalkeeper. And there is just, this list will go on and on and on. And that's obviously just looking at the recruitment focuses, not even looking into sort of our players scouted on the player database side of things, which we'll look into in a bit's time. African is by far the best place to find wonder kids. I've got a full rebuild out on the channel where I took FC Nordsjælland to Champions League winners. I only signed players from Africa. It is possible, trust me. I mean, look at Austin Mohammed here, the first guy on the list. Probably going to cost me £1 million. Decent physicals, good defensive stats, great mentals, 18 years of age. Ahmed Saif Ashraf is a Zamalek goalkeeper from Egypt. Doesn't look great, to be honest. A little bit more on the expensive side. Sundowns left back, Simfanda Kahinyale. Great physical stats, decent technicals, good mentals. But all of these players are like less than £1 million. It is absolutely stupid the amount of incredible wonder kids you can find from Africa. I mean, this guy is going to cost me probably 400,000. Mohamed Fofana, 16 finishing, 16 pace, 18 determination. If you're not scouting wonder kids in Africa, it is quite simply the best way of finding bargains. In terms of South America, it's just an absolute gold mine. I mean, we've got this set to A+ priority here. Ramon is a £15 million right back who looks outrageous. Alex Veron from Velige, a winger, pretty about £5 million. Very, very well rounded. Marcelo, a centre back from Grimau. I mean, that's just not fair to come in at what age? 17. Yeah, this guy is an absolute joke, and he also has 14 determination. And then finally, we have Asia and Oceania. The reason I put these two together is because there isn't many wonder kids that come from either regions, so I put both of them together. And as you can see, it has worked quite well, if we go back onto where that is. Pejman Rezi from Persepolis is going to cost probably £2 million. Decent right back coming in as an Iranian fullback. Al Wasi here, a club in the Adnoc Pro League. I mean, crikey. 16 dribbling, 16 tackling, 16 technique. £5 million. If you're not using these sorts of criterias, they genuinely help you so much in finding wonder kids, which of course you can just look to sign the cheaper ones, which make them absolute bargains. £1.8 million. Why not try and make a Saudi centre back in Abdelmajid Barnawi, one of the best in the game? It cost £1.8 million. And it's very, very fun to do. Now, rather than constantly go through different recruitment filters, you can just come to the player database. And we've got this set up here to look at ages 15 to 21 and a max transfer value of £10 million, and ticks the scouted players only to be set as done, and are interested in just transfer as persuadable. And that gives us 510 players. Now, I am 3 years into the future. I've had these scouting filters on from day one. But I can now go through and basically look for different positions and try and find the best sort of players in each role here. If we look through, we know Enes Kamga is on here for stupidly cheap. Potential-wise, this guy at the top looks really good. Fyodor Pizarro, 9.6 million. Definitely get him on a short list. Looking at potential, there's anyone else here that's really sticking out to me. I mean, Moses Bazunu here has some insane potential. 14 determination, looks fairly decent. £2.2 million. We can see Fabian Schillinger from LASK. Doesn't look quite as good, but you can go through here, add these to a shortlist, create a separate Wonder Kids shortlist, get them on there for 3 months, change the next one into right backs, search through the right backs for free. Josh Nichols potentially being signed here. Is that actually for free? It is actually for free. Good speed, good pace, decent determination, an okay player. I mean, probably not going to be good enough for this kind of level, despite looking like it. But for free, you couldn't really go wrong as a backup right back. You just go through each position like this, and obviously this has all come from the fact that we have looked at scouting these players. Peyton Miller is an absolute insane wonder kid in this game, £5.4 million. I've got him in a rebuild that's coming out fairly soon, where I signed him for about £80 million, and you can sign him for 5.4. It's an absolute joke how good these recruitment filters are, and you pretty much do not miss anyone. You find players, every single player you could ever wish for in terms of wonder kids, and with these little filters here, like looking at maximum 10 million, you could change this to maximum 5. You could find all of the best cheap wonder kids you could possibly want on your game. Which, now that I've gone through every single position, I've got a short list of 29 potential wonder kids with the max value at 9.6 million, going all the way down to a couple of free agents. And very simply, I just went through each individual position, clicked through a few players, look at determination, a few key stats in different areas, you know, defenders, tackling, marking, heading, midfielders looking at passing, technique, and for a DM, like a work rate and a teamwork. For cams, looking at sort of technique and vision. For wingers, looking at speed, determination, flair, dribbling, and for strikers, finishing, composure, and speed. And we've come out with this little shortlist here of just 30 different players which we could potentially sign, which when you couple that up with the fact that I've also got now my Moneyball stat filters all done, and I have my shortlist all done here, I've got about 70 players which we can now go and scout and attempt to bring in, and they're all going to cost me less than £10 million. But the final tip is contracts expired, because you can also get some absolute bargains on this. Now, the 2nd of June, which is the date that I am on here in game, is the best date by far for looking at Moneyball players, because this is when stats are all finished for pretty much every league in world football. So if you're going to do Moneyball stuff, do it on the 2nd of June, get them in the shortlist, and then get scouting. For free agents and contracts expired, the best date by far is the 1st of January. This is when, from players from not inside your nation, you can offer players contracts 6 months before their contracts end, and you'll get them for free at the start of the season. Now, we are only a month away from their contracts being up, so some of the best ones might have already had their contracts done. We can go to contract expiring, however, in the next 6 months and have a little look if anyone comes up. I mean, straight away, in terms of we've got this still as scouted players only. Ashley Phillips for free would be an outrageous signing, and someone that I will certainly be getting on a shortlist. And there is a bunch of players on here. Thomas Veron Lupi for free. His stats are okay, to be honest. They're not actually that good. Listed here as a 3.5-star player. That's why you don't always look at what your agents say. Tanguy Koulibaly, very well-rounded. 16 flair, 12 determination, good dribbling, good first touch, decent speed. For free. I mean, free agents are just an absolute joke, aren't they? If you want to make this even better, so you can find different players, take that off. Now, number one, you can sort this by transfer value. Anyone that's still got a pretty high transfer value is going to be a pretty decent player. The other thing that I would recommend putting on is going to general and world reputation and looking for players of at least fairly good world reputation. This will help you narrow it down a little bit. So Wilson Isdior here at Sunderland, of course not the highest value anymore, but for free could be a very decent signing. Anyone else on here that I can potentially see just with a quick look? Not necessarily anyone coming up for me. But if we switch this little button here to general info and sort it by world rep, we can then see Leandro Trossard, who's currently at Manchester United, available for free. We've got James Maddison at Spurs at 31. Could be a great signing for us here in Ligue 1 for completely free. Sorting that by world reputation does actually help massively. Odson Edwards, Jovan Cabral at 29 has got great speed. I know he has good determination, good finishing, first touch, and composure. For free would be an absolute no-brainer. Kayan Ahan as a DM could be decent. Daichi Kamada from Palace, of course, at 31 could be quite good. And that's just a really good way of finding this. You would have had a lot more options if I'd done this on the 1st of January. Obviously, we are 3 years into the future, so the list will look completely different for you based on what sort of season you're in or what game file you are in. Of course, it changes. They're all different universes. And the way you can do this sort of going down at different levels as well. For example, if you're at a level which isn't very good, looking at international youth appearances can be something really, really good to look into. There is a little bug at the moment where if you automatically puts it in at 1, it won't actually find anyone. If you click 10, then click 1 again, It will filter out a list of people with international youth appearances. So if you're managing in the lower leagues of England, this can really help you find sort of, if you're in League 2, players which were looking at really good prospects when they were younger, like say James Wilson at Manchester United, didn't quite make it, had some injury issues, could come in though and do a very good job at your club. Going up another level, you can look into international actual appearances. This way you could not run into work permit issues if you're running in England, and you could potentially find players which have got an appearance, say even for, they could have 10 appearances for the Philippines, they're going to be able to get their work permit, and this could be another really good way of finding players at the lower levels, and pretty much whatever level, to be honest. Of course, you can filter this by age as well, so you don't just find old men that are about to retire, looking at sort of 32 years of age. I mean, James Maddison is the one here which really screams out to me as an absolute no-brainer for Ligue 1, not playing in the Premier League at the moment, free agent deal, coming as a star player, 56 grand a week. That is an outrageous deal to bring in James Maddison to Toulouse. He's just going to be fantastic, and it's cost me absolutely nothing. And again, just set up a shortlist for this, go through, add players into the shortlist like we have done with the Wonder Kids and the Moneyball players, and put them all in the shortlist, and you'll find some fantastic players for free. Now, I'm too late, I feel, for the best players, other than ones that are coming up straight away here, like James Maddison. There's not many here that jump out to me straight away. If players haven't got great world rep, they're probably not going to be fantastic. Elmas could be someone really good. Obviously, we've got Maddison now, so don't need a cam, but just look around sort of the 2.5 star range if you are a top tier side, and there could be some good players in for you. Rabbi Matondo, a very quick young winger, only pace, but could be good for someone out there. A really good way of finding players as well is the free agent market. And the final thing we're going to talk about is Moneyball, and this is the sort of PDF that I created, which is available on the Patreon, like I said, for completely free. Gives you guides on how to install loads of different things, and then you have your Moneyball search criteria per position, which I go through and use every single season, really. Put these back in, and I put them into the shortlist, and that's how we create these shortlists. After that, there is sort of a bit more admin to do till you find really the list of players you want. For example, Lorenzo, more than £10 million. I can definitely sign someone who is going to be cheaper than that. Looking into the wingers, the top two, we'll remove them from the shortlist as well, which gives me now a list of about 50 players. And we will add them all into our default shortlist, which then gives us our full shortlist of 98 players, which is an absolute dream. Around 100 players to go through and scout. That's pretty much 10 per position, which is fantastic. We are want to go and scout all of these players as well. We know the Moneyball ones fit the criteria that I needed to tick my Moneyball criteria, so I'm happy for them to join the club. We obviously know we have bargain Wonder Kids in there. The next thing I'm going to do is come to recruitment focuses and take off all the players which are currently being scouted on here, because we don't need to know about them anymore. We've got our shortlist of our 100 players, which we need to now concentrate on. So the goal now is to get these 98 players scouted. And once they're all scouted, we can then filter through each player, each position, and pick the ones that we want to actually bring into the club. And now I can assign these to scouting pool for a week and get basically all of these scouted. That would enable us to at least get a little bit of knowledge on every single player. So that's us done on the shortlist and scouting kind of things. And then my final thing to do really is check what positions I actually need to go out there and sign, because that's kind of the next step, which basically now means we sign a striker, left wing, right back, and goalkeeper. Well then, players are being scouted. If I can just ask you guys a massive favour to smash a like button on the video if you've learned anything today, and also subscribe to the channel, because we're on a push to get to 25,000 subscribers, which is the next milestone, which is absolutely insane. If you guys have enjoyed the content from the start of FM26, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Around 67% of you are not subscribed, so do me a massive favour and smash that subscribe. And if you really enjoyed it, there's a new thing called hype. If you could do that, it helps push the video into the algorithm so much more than you know. And before they're even scouted, we have got our first signing. It is James Maddison for completely free on 56k a week. And you can see from the tactic, he comes in as one of the best players straight away, and he cost me nothing. And what the beauty of transfers is they don't always work out, which is why it's good you have them shortlists up, because Derbstra has gone to Altai instead, so we do need to go and look at a different goalkeeper, and also Stojanovic has gone to Stuttgart instead of us, so we also need a different right back. The other player which could be going elsewhere is the one we all dreaded. Sadly, in terms of transfer activity, Mohamed Fofana is wanted by everyone. Offers from Benfica, us, Sporting, Hertha, Familial and Roma. I have offered him 34 grand a week to get him to come here because of how good he is. So we'll see if he joins us. But like I said, you don't have to worry about the fact that all the players you're scouting through Moneyball are no longer on the database because you have the shortlist set up and the players are still there. So once again, we can simply come in to default, look at goalkeepers and reevaluate. And well, the best news of the day has come in and Mohamed Fofana is joining the club. Thank God he has chosen us. Like I said, we're giving him a bit more wage than everyone else. But, you know, when you see a player like that available for so cheap, it just makes sense to bring them in. So we have got our boy. Oh, but the gutting thing is he doesn't actually join until the 1st of January, which is an absolute stinker. And after all that, finally, we have our goalkeeper in Santiago Silva, which of course gives us our new look team. And in my opinion, this team is much better. Silva, Faustino, Madison, and Min-Soo Kim, actually 4 starting players in one transfer window, all into the team, as well as a new backup goalkeeper, and sadly, not yet, but will be a new starting striker, which will move Harry's out. So it'll be 5 starting players and a backup. And looking into our transfer history, we spent just £5.5 million for 5 new starters. Probably £7.5 million once Fofana joins. We raised over 11 million, which, I mean, isn't a lot, let's be real, but half the price, and we've completely changed this team for the better. And I'm not just going to leave it there, I'm going to show you as well, because we are predicted to finish 12th this season, and I almost guarantee you we're about to absolutely smash that. How would you look at that? After joining in January, Fofana comes in, scores 10 goals in 17 games. And a reminder that this guy cost us just £500,000, and we are playing in the top tier of France. The first goalkeeper we signed was Santiago Silva, brought in for just £375,000. He got a 6.98 average rating, and he has had a great season overall. Right back, Aldair Faustino grabbed 10 assists this season and again cost us just 2.4 million from Levski in Bulgaria. The free agent signing of James Maddison was a work of genius, 28 goal contributions for the Englishman, as well as 20 goal contributions coming from Min-Soo Kim off the left wing. Every single signing was a huge success, and in the Ligue 1 this season, that helped us get to 6th place in the league on 55 points, level with 5th place Lille, but it is Europa League football. And as a reminder, all we done, that's in terms of spending, checking out our transfer history, was £6 million overall, raised 10.75, every single player was a hit, which means now we're a Europa League side and we've still got a whole bunch of money in the bank because we had a £95 million transfer budget. We've got that again and 70 million in the bank. So not only are we even more rich this summer, but we've built a whole squad on £6 million and found some absolute gems. And I hope you guys learned some things in today's video as well. If you did, make sure you smash the like button, hype in the video, and subscribe to the channel. And obviously subscribe to the channel to keep an eye out for this Toulouse rebuild. It is going to be an absolute banger. And I'll speak to you guys on the next one. And hopefully, it's not just that one.